welcome to Raw Talks at the IGF AGM.
It's a pleasure to be here.
In your view, are new technologies a threat or an opportunity for local content?
I would say a challenge. So we know we're going to have fewer workers. We know that there's going to be a shift from low and medium skilled workers to high skilled workers, and that's going to be hard for local community members to fill. We know there's going to be more reliance on imported capital goods and the servicing of those capital goods from abroad. There will, of course, be advantages. You know, we're going to see increased efficiency, maybe longer mine life for some mines, lower greenhouse gas emissions, better worker safety, right? But I think the bottom line is the new technologies are going to make it that much more urgent for mining companies to focus on the stuff they should be doing anyway, and that is ensuring that their investment creates meaningful linkages within the economy, and ultimately that you find economic diversification outside of the mining sector.
And automation is already a reality, and in particular driverless trucks are among us already, and it's one of the few low-skilled but well-paid activities in a mine. How much is this going to affect local communities, do you think?
That, as you say, this isn't new technology, and we also have technologies that replace workers in areas like drilling and blasting. You know, on the one hand, that's good for worker safety because the further away from the mine face you can get workers, the better. But on the other hand, these, as you say, these are the kinds of low-skilled, medium-skilled jobs that normally are filled by the local community members. So, you know, at the end of the day, and we're talking about jobs replacing them in sectors like IT, software development, less locally dependent jobs. So at the end of the day, we're talking about a major impact on local employment at the community level. That's the million-dollar question, right? Because as you say, the current trends threaten the social license to operate. And moreover, you risk social instability in fragile states. So it's not just a question that needs to concern companies, it's also of concern to governments, to local communities. They all need to be involved in the solution. You know, in the first instance, certainly you can have companies focusing more critically on the things they should be doing anyway, like skills upgrading to ensure that workers in the local community have a chance at the jobs of the future, right? And boosting local procurement. But beyond that, we've seen companies like Anglo that are running full-scale regional development projects in the areas that we're working in. Not everybody can pull that off. You may see an increase in focus on boosting taxes and royalties, but that depends on the assumption that new technology is going to create a large and sustained increase in profits. I think that's not likely. And moreover, taxes to a central government are a poor replacement for jobs at that local community level. We may see differences in ownership structure, something that looks more like the oil and gas sector, where you have government ownership of the resource and production sharing agreements, service contracts. You know, there are so many possible answers to this question. We've just started a research program that's going to try to look at them, but with the clear understanding at the outset that there will be no silver bullet. The first thing to do is to get acquainted with the nature of the challenge, because we've been talking to governments and they have an idea that this is a game changer, but nobody really understands the pace or the quantum of the change that's coming. The second thing then is to start the conversation with the private sector investors, because the last thing you want is reactive government policy. When a crisis hits, that's when bad policy is created. So we need to start the conversation now between governments, between mining investors, and between the local communities to try to find workable answers. Consultation, inquiry, bringing the stakeholders together, in-country meetings, trying to both raise awareness of the scale of the nature of the challenge and see what kinds of collaborative solutions we can work out that everybody can agree will make us better off than we are now.
We will follow it with great interest. Thank you much for joining me.
Thank you.